How y'all feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? Welcome to the building. Make sure y'all come in the room. Tap those hearts. We about to get into it. Use your spirit fingers. Like, share the broadcast. Let's get into it. Now the topic today is a little heavy. It's a little heavy. But before we get into that, Ocio to my Niiji. Sending love to all the melanated chiefs, chiefesses, kings, queens, whatever makes you feel royal. This morning, I'm going to give it a little while for my crew to get in here. Let me know if you ready to rock out on this Monday morning. I know I am. I got me a little bit of lemon tea today. I'm trying to cut back on the coffee. Trying to cut back on it. So as you can see from the title, well, before we get into that, let's just give it a little more time. Y'all come in the room. Let me know where you're watching from. The tea is hot today. I ain't talking about this tea. I'm talking about what we finna get into. It's hot today. And I know y'all probably have seen it. Chicago in the building. Woo, 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 woo. Chi-Town, what it do? Love loves me. Thank you for being the #1 getter badge. Who else is in the building? We got Chi-Town. We got NYC. What else? Who else in the building? So, tribe. Welcome to the hood. You know, the hooded tribe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're walking in the truth. Most people are scared to say out loud. Ooh, we gonna touch on something most people scared to say out loud. All right. History of racism in healthcare comment. What? I'm so confused. You can manage AI settings. All right. So we're talking about racism, healthcare, and Niiji history, and patterns that keep repeating century after century on our own land. Oh yes, let's get into it. Now, if you know me, I'm Dr. Chiefess Sunflower, and I ain't sugarcoating shit. So if you like sugar-coated stuff, you know, keep strolling. I'm a dentist because I ain't sugarcoating your teeth, and I ain't sugarcoating the knowledge. All right? I don't soften the truth for comfort. We don't do that here. This is hood to hooded, where we transform pain into knowledge, and knowledge into power. So let's pause for a second. Let's breathe for a second. You know, you might want some notes to get this tea. You might want to get you a cup of tea. Because like I said, it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Now, I talk a lot about how history, I consider myself a baby historian. Now, a baby historian. I didn't say I was an archaeologist. I said a baby historian. Only because the history that I'm learning is helping me help my people, and actually helping me learn about myself. And when I learn about it, I understand, oh, this, when you see hate in the present form, you know where it stems from. It stems from hundreds and hundreds of years ago, right? And it's still perpetuated today. So some people always come and they be like, well, why are you worried about that in the past? No, because the past impacts us now. People still walk around like the movie The Perfect Neighbor, like this video I'm about to show you, with the hate. Moon Pie 420 said, hi, what's going on, Moon Pie 420? So there was recently a story that went viral. Okay, the story went viral. It was so devastating to watch. First of all, there was a pregnant lady in Texas, clearly in distress, clearly needing care, clearly about to give birth, who was ignored by a YT employee who didn't believe her pain even mattered. You might be like, oh, yeah, this happens all the time. Somebody just happened to get it on camera. They hate it when that happens. 12 minutes later, the baby came. Only after the baby was born was the employee fired. Listen, tribe, this isn't new. It's the same old script with a different timestamp. You know, the same script with a different timestamp. This Texas incident and modern medical racism, that's what it's called, modern medical racism. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what the moment represents. Not just a negligent worker, not just a lawsuit waiting to happen, but it is a continuation. But before we get into all of that, let's just take a look at the video. If you've seen it, I'm pretty sure if you're on TikTok, you've probably seen it. And if you haven't seen it, I'm about to show it to you. So you want to know what we deal with in this country, being melanated, copper tone, indigenous, autochthonous, the Mississippian mound builders, the Merry Indians, the Choctaw, the Creek, the Seminole, the Appalachee. Stop playing with us. This is what we experienced. Let's get into the video. I don't even want to make you wait no longer. So TikTok, y'all already know how I do. I'm gonna have to flip the camera so you can kind of see what we see over here. Let's flip the script. Boom. So if you can see it, tap the hearts. I think you can see it. So let's get into the video. Let's make sure this is on. Let's turn my.
I love the people. Now, this video is a trigger warning.
Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black one?
Hey, lovely people. Now, this video is a trigger warning. I'm about to play this video I just saw. I did not plan on making commentary at all, but I opened TikTok and this was the first video I saw. It's a video from Sugar Babies is the name on TikTok, and this black woman here is at Dallas Regional Medical Hospital. It's in an area of Texas called Mesquite. And she is with this charge nurse screaming in pain, just screaming in pain. And you can even see in the portions of the video where you can see her face, and she is in agony. And this charge nurse here is, you know, just so focused on the paperwork or submitting the notes. She needs to see a doctor. She needs pain management. She's not even acknowledging the fact that this woman is in pain. Like, look at her face. And you can hear her in agony. And she just seems nonchalant the entire time, even not even focusing on what the woman where I can. I don't have a huge platform, but if you're babies, as she doesn't, you know, think to record video or making any type of commentary, but I just saw this and anywho, again, trigger warning. I'm gonna play the video.
Fuck! When's your due date? Right now. Is your due date 11? What? How many times have you been pregnant? 3. This is your 3rd pregnancy? Yes. You have 2 babies. You have 2 babies at home. Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor. Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black ones?
There was a personality patient for you. His last name is Jones. She's G3P2. I'm not sure when her due date is.
Her due date is the 10th.
It was the 10th. Her due date is the 10th.
She got 3 pregnancies, 2 babies at home. I bet y'all listen next time. When you found out you was delivering at this hospital, your ass should have changed doctors.
Thank you.
Everybody say how they treat people here.
So, yeah. I'm gonna flip y'all around. Uh-oh. So, yeah. That's what we talking about today. This type of bullshit. This Texas incident and modern medical racism. You just saw it with your own 2 eyes. So we're going to talk about what this moment represents. Like I said, we're not just focusing on the negligent worker. It go a little deeper than that. We're not just talking about the lawsuit that's going to happen. And I hope she get the Appalachian Indian being crump on their ass. Honestly. It's the continuation of a long, ugly lineage of American healthcare where our bodies, copper tone, melanated Niiji bodies, indigenous bodies, yet melanin indigenous bodies, get it right, are treated as unreliable narrators of our own pain. Like, what the fuck? So let's go through the statistics because this is where the facts actually happen. So this isn't my opinion. This is something that's going on regularly, on the regular. So it says the stats. Black women, copper tone, melanated Niiji women, we talking about. I don't even like to say black, but you get what I'm trying to say. Melanated women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die during childbirth than white women. So you're not just talking about a negligent worker. This lady could have lost her life. Childbirth is so traumatic on the body. And she's sitting here in pain and she's just sitting there with the calmness, not with the urgency, like hoping that something go wrong. Thankfully, we got cameras nowadays. Thankful for our ancestors for inventing cameras and internet and technology. My ancestors. Because it's still saving lives right now. Our pain is believed to be exaggerated. Oh yeah. They say, oh, my bad. Our pain is believed to be exaggerated. So all that screaming, yelling, just she's in pure agony like 1,000%. This lady was calm as a whistle. Didn't give a fuck. This is how it is in history. It just hasn't changed, guys. Our symptoms are dismissed. Our concerns are minimized. Our emergencies are treated as inconveniences. She was sitting there acting like it was an inconvenience for her to help this pregnant lady deliver her son safely. No urgency. 0% urgency. How can you be in the medical field, and I don't even want to ask this question, but how can you be in the medical field and be racist? Welcome to America. Welcome to America. All right? Why y'all ask, why is it like this? It's because the system was never designed for our survival. Only our extinction. And it hits all levels. We have talked about the prison system. How they try to extinct us there. We have talked about the mental system. How they try to enforce religion into your mind instead of spirituality. We have talked about the money and how all the presidents enslaved people. Some of them up to 600 people. And all of the first, 10, 13 presidents all had something to do with black codes, enslaving people. The slave patrol, they was down for the shit. The same system that y'all honor now. Republicans, Democrats, all the fucking same. Stop playing. Don't let them trick your mind. We talked about racism from the political aspect. We talked about racism from the educational school system aspect. We have talked about racism from the church and how the church funded slavery and how the church had slaves in the bottom of the basement while they was thanking the Lord for a brighter day. We talked about how when they made the Emancipation Proclamation, right? Was that Abraham Lincoln? Somebody check me on that, but I think it was Abraham Lincoln. But he was enslaving people when he made that. Talking about we all free of speech and free of this, and stop fucking lying. The system was never meant for us. It was meant to eradicate us, erase us, minimize us, make us feel like we are inconvenienced on our own damn land. Where they do that at? Only in America. You got it right. So now we're going to go back a little bit in history to see how racism evolved into this, what you just saw last week in America. This is only a little bitty glimpse into what actually happens. I seen it with my own father. I had to basically go off on the hospital, send emails, all this because of racism in the hospital. If it's a melanated person, they're going to get ignored. They're not going to treat them right. But listen, I'm the one to pop the fuck off. Everybody can't go to the hospital and say, hey man, I'm a doctor, y'all not finna treat. Some people don't even know that they're being treated like this. They think, oh, everybody get treated like this. Well, it's a lie. Next, we're going to talk about Henrietta Lacks, the mother of modern medicine. A Niiji, melanated, copper-toned woman. We ain't going to go too far back in time, but a little bit back in time. Her cancer cells were taken without her consent. Do you want to know when this happened? Do you want to know the year that this happened? Anybody know the year that Henrietta Lacks' cells, a melanated woman, might I add, her cells were taken without consent? And see, the thing about history and medical history and racism, a lot of the things, a lot of the books that they made were done on our bodies without our consent. Even some of the books I study with as a dentist. I'm going to show you one of the books. Let me show y'all what I mean by, our bodies being dissected without our consent and stolen without our consent to create masterpieces and books like this. Okay, you say, well, dang, Dr. Sean, what's in these books that you have? Might I ask? Dissected bodies that we use to study. Where do you think they got these images from? Even in dental school, I had to dissect a human body. Yeah, I did. People who donated their body for science. Back then, it was no donation. It was just, we gonna unalive this person and cut them open, eat them, use this part, taste it. Sick shit, man. But yeah, they got these kind of books like this. I would be interested to know more about Frank Netter now, since I'm out of school and I'm not in school anymore. I would be interested to know how he did this. So much detail. So much fucking detail. I mean, so much. Just check it out. Details. Okay? But that ain't what we talking about. We talking about modern racism in medicine. So, no one guessed it, but the year that Henrietta Lacks' cells were taken without her consent was 1951. It wasn't even that long ago. 1951. They turned her cells. Imagine somebody going in your body, getting your cells, stealing them basically, and turning them into the famous HeLa cells. It's just her cells. The first immortal human cell line. From a Niiji, from a melanated person. Do you ever fucking thank us for the shit we do for medicine? Do y'all ever fucking, it just pissed me off, guys. Do y'all ever thank us for the things that we do when it comes to medicine? This lady sat in the hospital so long waiting for the nurse to help her. And she didn't even help her. This isn't new. This is a part of history. This is how they do us. So when we do talk about Henrietta Lacks, 1951, the HeLa cells, this is another example. Can you imagine somebody coming and taking your cells and then using it in science, and now they getting millions and millions off of something you didn't even know that they was doing? So her cells were the first immortal human cell line. What do they do with her cells, you might ask? You might be like, well, no. What did they do with her cells? They created vaccines. They solved polio. They built chemo. Studied space travel with her cells. Built biotech company with her cells. And what else did they do? They generated billions with her cells. What did her family get? Somebody answer in the chat. What you think her family got from these stolen cells that she didn't even know were immortal? They got nothing. They didn't get a word. They didn't get a dime. They didn't get a choice. They didn't get dignity. All they got was a bunch of YT people who now have something to help them cure cancer, finance their biotech companies, because that's all biotechnology is, when you use medicine and science to solve a problem on the earth. That's biotechnology. So we walk around here as biotechnical people and don't even know it. Stop playing with us, man. Stop fucking playing with us, man. Even her name was hidden for years. Like they needed her body, but not her humanity. Now I want y'all to let that sink in. Henrietta Lacks is a proof that the Niiji women have built medical science for our uncompensated suffering. But it don't just stop there. I'm just going over, like, touching the surface of medical racism. Some of these things you probably have already heard. Some of them you may not have heard. But the video that we watched of this lady sitting in the hospital in modern times stems from this type of racist mindset, evil that is just in the DNA. And I started to think, well, dang, like, since they just can't, be humane, some of them just don't understand. They don't just get it. What is missing? Something is missing. Something is missing. Next, we go to the Tuskegee experiment. This was a crime. It wasn't a study done by the government, done by so-called scientists. So you got to watch who you call them scientists. Watch who you believe. Just because people have on white coats and they dentists and doctors don't mean that they're good for you. You don't believe how many patients I have coming to my office in tears, guys. This ain't something that I'm fucking making up. They come in tears because they had a bad experience at the dental office that traumatized them. Now they don't have teeth. Now they lost. It's just bad. It ain't just in the past. It's happening right now. Right now. In dentistry, in medicine, in the hospital. Racism. You see it on TikTok. You see these YT nurses and stuff talking about if the person ain't MAGA and how they treat them. We see this all over. And it's getting ridiculous. So the Tuskegee study wasn't even that long ago. So I'm telling you things that was in the, what would this be, the 20th century, meaning the 1900s. These are things that happened in the 1900s. Now you can't imagine the things that was happening when we were legally being caught, kidnapped, and they could do anything to us by law. You could just imagine, because this is the 1900s. So you go back 100 years before that, it's just get even worse. It get even worse. I want to figure out more about Frank Netter, who is from this book that we had to study as dentists. I want to figure out more about him, because I'm starting to feel like something ain't right. So the Tuskegee study was 1932 to 1972. This was going on. My great grandma is 96 years old right now. 96 years old. So she was alive when this was going on. My grandma was alive when this was going on. For 40 years they did fucking evil to our People, 1932 to 1972. 1972, that's like a little bit before I was born. 40 years. Hundreds of melanated Niiji men were told that they were getting treated for syphilis when they were actually being watched die slowly, painfully, and intentionally. They actually gave them syphilis and then allowed them to die while they had penicillin. Penicillin was already invented. They already knew the cure. They just wanted to see what would happen, how far we could let this go. So we're the basis of all of these science, research, experiments. We're the basis of it. They use our bodies, tortured us, unalived us in the name of science. The government prevented them from receiving penicillin. The government, the same government y'all talking about, if I vote the right way, shit gonna change. If I work hard enough, I'm gonna make it out. If I just sit and let them control me, things gonna change. Get it out of your head. Nothing's gonna change. We have to change ourselves. You dealing with a government who prevented people from getting penicillin when it was available in the 40s. They wanted to watch the disease run its course, they said. This was on indigenous land, on indigenous bodies. And this wasn't medicine. This was medical homicide with a government grant. Let's call it what it is. Medical homicide with a government grant. This lady at this hospital almost committed medical homicide because if something would have happened to that lady, because I just told you, we are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in childbirth. People like that lady, that charge nurse, knows things like this. And she probably did this plenty of times. That's why she was so comfortable with sitting in her chair. She like, they don't care about y'all. I can take my precious time. Ain't shit gonna happen until, you know what happened? You know what happened? We got her fired. Alright? And the apology that they gave was a PR stunt decades later to the Tuskegee study. Thank you guys for following on Kick. So that's number 2. We got Henrietta Lacks. We got the Tuskegee experiment. This is all in the 1900s. How does this tie to black codes? Oh, we're going deep now. Let me get a sip of this tea, because it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. I don't want you to be like Nelly, though, but it's getting hot in here. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So under black codes, if you don't know what black codes is, black codes was after 1865. So the slave patrol, who was, legally authorized by the presidents to, do democide, homicide, genocide, kidnapping, all this stuff, trafficking. They was doing all of this stuff before, this was outlawed. Then after it was outlawed, they came up with the black codes. So the slave codes were replaced by the black codes, and the black codes was used by, the slave patrol, who is now the police officer, who still do the same type of shit right now. Okay, that's just a little summary of black codes. So under black codes and slave codes and post-Civil War laws, the bodies of my ancestors were legally, now listen to this now, you can't even people be walking around with this legal, that legal. Eating us was legal, stupid. So what the fuck does really legal mean? Like, let's just talk about it. What is legal when you allow people to eat people, unalive people legally because they're a certain color? It sounds fucking psychotic. It sounds fucking delusional. Like, am I the only one thinking about it like this, or no? It's delusional. If this is how your people thought that it was okay to eat people without their permission and you make it legal, you're fucking deranged. It's animal mentality. It's animal genes. It's animal mindset. It's animalistic. It's not human nature. How many ways can I say it? It's not human nature. It's not normal. It's abnormal. It's psychotic, deranged, insane in the membrane. Okay? Because guess what? These black codes, these slave codes, these post-Civil War laws allowed them to legally do what to my people? Research us as property. Become medical training mannequins. Sounds like where they get this information from. When you make a human person a medical training mannequin. We were experimental subjects legally. And unprotected. We were unprotected human resources. These things are outrageous, but these laws and practices were done. Number one, giving consent to work on you, things like that, it didn't apply to our bodies. Consent didn't apply to us. Doctors could perform surgeries without your permission. The fuck? Yes. Right now, people are scared to go to surgery. I know I don't go to surgery. You're going to read everything. Back then, they was doing surgery without your permission. They could kidnap you, treat you as a medical training mannequin. That is crazy. Now, I really need to know more about the medical training mannequin, because what the fuck? So, wow. I don't be knowing why I be looking into this stuff, because I know that it's going to have me like so pissed off. Medical training mannequin. Let's break it down straight raw without any academic filter. Okay, because our reaction is exactly the reaction every Niiji person should have when we learn this type of history. So medical training mannequin is how they actually treated us. They used our bodies alive or dead as practice tools. They didn't use dolls. They didn't use mannequins. They used human beings. Number one, enslaved people were used as teaching material for medical students. Oh. Enslaved people were used as teaching material for medical students. Meanwhile, we were banned from being medical students. But you're going to use our bodies for medical students? The fuck, man? It's too early for this. Medical schools in the 1800s and early 1900s. Early 1900s bought black, which I don't like to say, meaning indigenous, mela-indigenous bodies from plantations, prisons, grave robbers, sheriffs, slave traders, and city morgues. If a Niiji person died, doctors and students practiced dissection on them with no consent. Sometimes the bodies weren't even dead. This was a normal practice in American medicine. So my thoughts about this is actually right. They used us to develop this book, which I fucking study from right now. That's fucking insane. Doctors practice surgeries on enslaved people while alive. No anesthesia. No anesthesia. They literally treated my people as surgery practice, experimentation subjects, anatomy lessons, clinical material. This included cutting open living people to practice surgical technique with no anesthesia. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sad shit we talking about right here, guys. But I need you to wake up. I wasn't gonna go on this topic this morning, but I need you to wake up. The father of gynecology J. Marion Sims. I need somebody to go research him. Did over 30 surgeries on enslaved women. With no anesthesia, no pain relief, no consent, and no compensation. He called melanated women perfect subjects because they don't feel pain like whites. This was written in medical journals. So you can see how now when we get ignored, when we in excruciating pain, how it stems from then to now. Let's talk about it. Let's fucking talk about it. Fuck out of here, man. Hospitals. Oh my gosh. Hospitals use black bodies for experiments white patients refuse. If a drug was risky, they tried it on the Niiji people. If a surgery wasn't approved, they tested it on our bodies first. If students needed practice, they were sent to the black wards, the black jails, and plantations. And again, this was standard procedure. Standard procedure in this fucking country. Y'all want to hide everything, act like it's so saint, act like everybody else savages. This is some savage shit. This is the most savage you can get, man. This is savage as hell. Grave robbing gangs stole black bodies for medical school. They were called resurrectionists or night doctors. Doctors hired them. Let's see. Man, doctors hired them to dig up freshly buried black people. They were stealing our bodies from the grave, man. The bodies were then sent to medical schools in Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Virginia, Maryland, New York. This is why the old folks used to say, don't go near the hospital at night. They'll take you. It's sad because the hospital wasn't safe for us like how it was for white. It wasn't safe for us. And when we had our own hospitals, they didn't want that. They wanted us to be in the hospital with them so they could do shit like this. This isn't superstition. It was a warning based on generations of abductions and experimentation. Prisoners, mostly us were prisoners, were used as test subjects up to the 1970s. The 1970s? What did they do on the prisoners, you ask? The people who was getting locked up for reading books, having books, meeting in a crowd, being homeless, stuff like this. What did they do on the prisoners? They tested them with chemical agents, herpes virus, radiation, pharmaceuticals, hormone drugs, and skin burning agents. In prisons like Holmesburg, experiments were conducted on almost entirely black Niiji population. In the 1970s now. This is in our parents' lifetime. And even in death, our people were denied dignity. Okay? So, with the bodies of white tea people, they were protected. But our bodies, if they were unclaimed, that means they were property. The doctors could do whatever they want with them, create books like this with Netter, dissect us, all without our consent. No consent at all. Okay? Now, that's how the black codes, slave codes, and post-Civil War laws harmed our people. Like I said, you didn't need consent to do surgery on us. J. Marion Sims, the father of gynecology, did surgeries on Niiji women because he said that we felt less pain. Medical schools brought bodies from the plantations. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The cadaver trafficking was common from the plantation. The law looked the other way. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Niiji people were used to test anesthesia. Because they saw us as less sensitive to pain. Hospitals denied care to colored patients. Sound like what just happened here with the lady. How she was denied care. So when you think about, oh, we don't got to go back. Yes, you do. You got to go back to understand the mindset of these people who treat us like this still to this day. It ain't just starting now. It's been going on. Okay? Hospitals denying care to colored patients. This was actually written in policy in many southern states until the 1960s. Yep.
Sad.
And when we realize, when we fast forward to this incident in Mesquite, Texas, we realize those laws have never changed. They just changed uniforms. Okay? So when we get into the last part of this topic, this might rub some people the wrong way. Because it goes back to how we just went over so much. We went over Henrietta Lacks. We went over the Texas incident. We went over Tuskegee study. We went over black codes and the medical laws and the father of gynecology. We went over all of this stuff, how they have been abusing our body. But the last thing is how they dehumanized us is the delectable Negro. The extreme truth about dehumanizing people. I need to go further for a moment, guys. In the book, The Delectable Negro, it documents how slavery wasn't just physical, it was cannibalistic, it was spiritual, literal. In this book, they have stories of enslavers, such as the ones selling bodies to the hospitals, or the ones doing surgeries on us without anesthesia or without consent or without permission, according to the law now. They were eating parts of Niiji bodies, using our body fat for soap, drinking our blood in ritual punishments, and medical schools dissecting freshly unalive enslaved people in the medical school now, showcasing our corpse for fairs and exhibitions. It's disturbing, but it's the truth. We don't know the extremes of dehumanization, and we can't even understand the depth of medical biases, even to this day. But in order to understand the present, we got to understand the past. So Niiji bodies to YTs are seen as disposable resources still to this day. When they lock you up to go to prison, when they put you in school, they send you to the workforce. Even with your mind, they send you to the religious practices. All this stuff means your body still to this day is a disposable resource, because we don't know who we are. We have no idea who we are, so still they can do these things because we don't know who we are. Imagine people who immigrants own the land talking about they did this and they did that, using our whole body and existence for their medical research for every part of this land. Not only did we build this land physically, mentally, doing agriculture, all this stuff, we built this medically too. Medically. Oh yeah. So every story I've mentioned today connects the one ugly truth. America has always treated our bodies as resources and not humans. So when you're going down to the human resource department, you really are a resource. They're not looking at you as a human. They just put that in there to trick you out your spot. Okay. I'm talking about from forced reproduction, just like Thomas Jefferson. We talked about him on the money the other day. He was on the $2 bill. He had 600 enslaved people, and he had a breeding farm. But he was the president. Oh, yeah. So when you think it's just people somewhere on the plantation, no, the presidents did this stuff, man. Y'all president, not mine.
Right.
Breeding farms. He forced reproduction. They did medical testing, ignored pain, denied treatment, stole DNA, harvested cells, experimented with drugs, gave people syphilis without the penicillin, even though penicillin was available, and the government legally denied them from getting it, to now modern neglect, such as the Texas case. It's all the same spirit in a different outfit. But we don't end in despair. We end in power, because guess what? The knowledge is the power. How do we protect ourselves? Our babies, our future. How? I already told you the secret tribe is the knowledge. That's the power. We got to have faith in our community and get back to being a unit. Because we out here separate, alone. You see how they was back then catching you. Even now they catch people. They lock people up to go and work on, do labor right now. Right now. They're getting locked up to do labor right now. People missing his body part. It's a lot going on right now that we can't even see. So when you go to your medical appointments, always bring an advocate to your appointments. I'm going to give you some steps so you don't leave this live feeling like, dang, I feel a little bamboozled about all of this. No. When you go to the doctor, take a witness. Just like this lady, she was at that hospital. She had a witness, because if she had been by herself, oh man, she might have been one of those 3 to 4 times black women losing their life in child labor. But she had a witness.
In the hospital.
In the hospital now. So always bring somebody with you, and always have your camera phone. Number 2, document everything. The names, the times, the symptoms, the refusals. Keep you a health care journal. Even myself, I had an experience where I took a medicine that almost had me out of here, and we had to document, write it down, and really fight. Because the doctors really care about that money. They don't really be caring all the time about the outcome. Once they get their check, they kind of don't care. Some of them. Not all of them. Ask direct, firm questions. Do not shrink when you in front of the doctor. Don't shrink and act like they know us. Because we see from history, some of these people have ulterior motives. Ask them, what is the risk if I wait? What is the alternative to what you asking me to do? Is there a different test you can do? You want to ask so many questions that you pretty much get on a doctor nerve. And if you refuse something, you want to document it, right? So when my patients come in the dental office, and I'm like, hey, ask as many questions as you need before I do anything, because I don't want you to go into something you unsure of. If I need to show you a picture, if I need to explain it a little deeper, if we need to wait a couple days so you can think about it, then you let the doctor give you the choice, because it's your mouth, not theirs. I'm talking about mouth, but it's your body, not theirs, right? So don't let them rush you into doing surgery or doing anything that you don't want to do. It is your body, not their schedule. And I see a lot of dental patients come in, the dentist rushing them to get the money. If this is a situation where you're being rushed to do something, 9 times out of 10 you need to wait. Because whatever they do can't be, once they take out a tooth and you didn't want that, or you don't want what they did, you can't go backwards. So you need to either wait till you're sure, ask more questions, or go get a second opinion. Another thing is you want to choose, if you're Niiji, you want to choose Niiji, Mela-Indigenous, culturally competent providers whenever possible. What do I mean by that? This means that people who look like you are going to, most of the time, treat you better than the people who don't look like you. Most of the time. Disclaimer. Okay? Which is why there aren't as many melanated medical and dental schools, because these were banned back in the day. We weren't allowed to be dentists or anything that wasn't like a manual labor. So you won't find many of us, but if you find some, make sure you go and try to see if you can be a patient, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to treat you better than some other doctors. I'm not saying all. You know, you just got to get second and third and fourth opinions sometimes. Another thing we have to do is teach youth the history, so they walk in aware of the risk and not afraid of these environments. And the last thing that we have to do is advocate loudly. Racism hides in silence, guys. It hides in silence, but it's very deadly. It can be fatal to your life. Do you see how this lady went into the hospital? 30 minutes, her life could have been gone because racism was sitting there. This lady was calm. She had like she didn't care. She had like it wasn't a big deal. This is how racism hides, because they comfortable with their racism. They don't have to do nothing but just sit and be evil and nasty to people who don't look like them. That's easy to them.
You know, hey, parents teach them to hate.
Oh yeah, the parents teach to hate every day at the dinner table. You teaching love, you teaching this. Their parents teach hate. Their parents are telling them, they just focusing on melanated people. Those people are this, those people are that. But as you can see from history, we see who the real pirate is. We see who the real thug, the real savage, the real conquistadors, the real settlers, pilgrims, all of that stuff. We see we see the truth. So you can't hide us and make us be something we're not. Alright? So in my final words, my Niiji, I know that this was a lot. In my final words, I want you guys to know that we are the descendants of warriors, midwives, doctors, and knowledge keepers. That's why the knowledge was banned from us. It was banned for us to even get the knowledge because we are the keepers of it. We know how to grow it, compound it. We don't infuse evil and hate and all of this stuff with our knowledge. We just give you true knowledge. We don't have to do all that. We great without all this extra evil and hate. Like, we don't have to do that. We are not helpless. We are not powerless. And we are not voiceless. We are the heartbeat of this land. The heartbeat of the land. We built the White House. We built all those monuments in Washington. We built the buildings, the railroads, the agriculture. You name it, we built it. The telephone, the light pole, the GPS. What? You name it, we built it. The toilet stool, all of it. So we the heartbeat. And I need y'all to remember that. As long as we tell our stories, teach our truth, defend our families, the cycle breaks. We have to stay consistent, stay aware, and always seek sovereignty. Okay? So I hope this live about the medical racism, the modern medical racism that exists today, really clicks home for a lot of us so that we can continue growing in the knowledge, not being afraid to tell our truth, stand on business about who we are, and not feel powerless, helpless, or hopeless. A lot of the things I talked about, some people probably knew, some people didn't. But we always must be aware. Knowledgeable and provide information. Thank you for following on Kick. All right. So the chat is open for questions. If you have any questions about what I just talked about today, drop it in the chat. We got a lot of followers on Kick today. Y'all showing out. And then thank you all for TikTok for getting me to my goal, over 1K hearts. I know this was a heavy topic, but we got to keep the knowledge flowing. So
they're trying to kill it every day.
Yeah, they trying to knock the knowledge out of us every day, erase it, just
and they want us to
ban
believe,
it.
They want us to believe that these laws are fair, equal, and I want to say livable.
Yeah, these laws aren't
we
fair.
Know these laws started off of racism and everything you just said. These laws
started off with genocide, homicide, democide, kidnapping, trafficking,
against
all of
the indigenous people.
All of that.
So
against us.
When you feel the pressure in North America and the United States, it's because those black codes and those laws was made for you and nobody else. No immigrant.
That's why they don't know what we're talking about, because they don't have to deal with it.
Because they don't have to deal with the harassment.
No, they don't have to deal with the harassment.
You know? Yep.
The medical racism. They don't have to deal with none of that.
Us indigenous people trying to come together, stay together, share information, be knowledgeable, and start a village.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
We are the village. All right. So I don't have any questions coming through the chat right now at all. So we about to clock out in a few minutes, guys. If you just joining me now, we went over modern medical racism. It's a topic that I have been avoiding for a while, but now I have opened up a can of worms, and I got a couple people that I have to go back and dig into. Such as, what his name at? I'm going to go do some research on Netter. The people who made this book. I'm gonna go do some research on, where was his name? Marion J. Sims, the father of the so-called father of gynecology, who performed 30 unanesthetized surgeries on women, Niiji. And I just gotta go do some research on a lot of this stuff, because it's psychotic. Alright. But I don't want to leave this Monday off on a bad note. I don't want to leave you guys with just this. But this is power. I know our attention span is dying down. I know that, we so focused on the other stuff. But in reality, it's a lot going on behind the scenes. People are really suffering. I really hate to see that young lady giving birth and being in excruciating pain and just, you know, she could have lost her life, man. She could have lost her life. So think about that next time. If you on the racist side and you just like, well, I'm just racist, I feel like, man, fuck you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I really want to shoot a bird on this camera right now, but I feel like that'd be a little childish. But fuck you. You racist prick. Okay? If you in the medical field, get out. We don't need you there. You not serving the purpose to do no harm. You actually don't need to be there. Don't go into the medical field if you've been trained to be racist. I don't give a damn if you want to be a doctor or a nurse. Don't do it. Go be a plumber or something. Get closer to what you truly are. Okay? Don't go be a nurse. Don't go do it. Don't. And I need my people, if you experiencing these type of things, pull out your phone. I seen this lady, she had like a body cam for racism. I feel like we gotta invest more into these type of gadgets. So a body cam, the modern lynching camera and modern defense camera. Body cam, we gotta get more body cams. This is a timeline. It could be a weapon, a shield, proof, a receipt. Body cam is changing the game. Okay? We need some body cams. Especially in the hospital, because many people lie in the charts. They change notes, deny statements, go silent after malpractice, protect the staff over the patient, dismiss our pain, create false medical narratives. So maybe you need not only the post for the police, but you need a body cam for the hospital sometimes. It's sad. You needed to catch the disrespect, the neglect, the dismissal of pain, the racism, the moment she was begging, the moment the worker ignored her, 12 minutes before birth, But when you in labor, you're not thinking about that. You're going to a place where you think you're actually going to get help, and you just don't get it. But this is the America we live in, guys. But this is not the America we shall allow to remain like this. Keep speaking out and continue, striving to make a difference. That's my purpose. So I send you guys positive vibes. My name is Dr. Chiefess Sunflower. This has been a very enlightening conversation. A lot of times I be live in the moment and learning with the chat. I learn a lot of this with the chat. If I go and ask the questions such as, what is freaking a medical training mannequin? Anywho, I'm gonna go get ready for my patients, guys. I will see you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Make sure you are following. Make sure you grab your daily heart meeting here at the top. If you're watching on TikTok, before I get out of here. And yeah, peace out.